years as a photographer. Our last presenter of the night, put your hands together for Briana Snyder.
I just realized that just about this week is 10 years that I've been a professional photographer. My very first job was as a portrait photographer at Moto Photo in the Dayton Mall. Baby pictures, family pictures. Since then, I've had every kind of photography job, Santa pictures, Easter Bunny pictures, plus other things that didn't really seem to connect at the time, but all came together eventually. So I went to UD. While I was there getting my undergrad in international studies, I was the photo editor of the Flyer News. These are some of the pictures I took there, which are a little cringy now, but that was back then. And it was a really good kind of boot camp. So I had the photography and the studio kind of thing, and then also the journalistic editorial kind of thing, which were kind of both sides of the photography coin. So after I went to UD, I went to Wright State for my master's in international and comparative politics. Totally different than photography. But during that and after that, I launched my own business doing mostly weddings and portraits. So I found that my experience in both the portrait studio side of things and the journalistic newspaper side of things really served when it came to doing weddings. Because weddings are kind of a combination of everything. You have a few minutes to create some really beautiful portraits of a couple in who knows what scenario. And then you also have to document moments as they happen, which is my favorite part. Just capturing those moments that when I give the bride her photos, she's like, I didn't even see that happen. When was that? So I love that. So that was kind of the last few years of my life. I mostly did weddings and portraits. Even my portrait work, I kind of liked that combination of the traditional portrait kind of thing, but then also a little more natural, casual, journalistic kind of feel. So I still do some things I don't do as much anymore, though I love to, especially if I know you and your babies. But I've kind of gone more into the event and commercial direction. I love the opportunity to photograph events. I live downtown and work downtown and love downtown, so especially if it's an event or an organization that I care about. These are obviously Masquerade, which is a super fun event to photograph. Anytime there's lots of light and action and activity, it's a blast to take pictures of. So at Masquerade, and then again at their event later in the year last year, I got to photograph the Ruby Girls, which were totally on my bucket list of who to take pictures of. One of my pictures of the Ruby Girls even made its way to be on the cover of Outlook magazine, which was a real treat. But then, light, life, color. And like I said, I live downtown actually in St. Anne's, right around the corner. So anytime, these are the tastes of Oregon, anytime I get to kind of turn my lens on the place where I live and work and play anyway is a treat. Okay, so especially with my political science background, anytime that my photography and sort of political events come together, I'm over the moon. So I love getting to document anything that is kind of happening downtown. This is the Link Bike Launch, the mural, River Run mural cutting. This is just totally my happy place when anything political and events bring our downtown better come together. I got the opportunity to, like I said, I love working with organizations downtown especially, and I got to photograph the YWCA Women of Influence, and I just, like, being even in a room with these women and hearing their stories is like so dreamy for me, but to get to photograph them was exceptional. And it's a case of one thing leading to another, so getting to do that, I got the opportunity to do a project for DVAC where I took pictures of local art collectors with their favorite piece of art. Which was just fantastic. Anytime that my camera gets me in a room I wouldn't have been in otherwise to meet amazing people that I wouldn't have otherwise met is fantastic for me. Especially over the last couple of years, I've had the opportunity to do a lot of work for the University of Dayton, which is great. When I went there, I graduated in 3 years. I was working off campus 30 hours a week. I ran through my classes, so I didn't get the chance to really have the UD experience. So it's been great to get to know the campus now. One of my favorite recent projects was basically following Dr. the outgoing president. Basically got to be his paparazzi for a week and do a day in the life of the president. So I told him I think I was taking more pictures of him than anyone else at this point. special to me, Deb and Chris. I, at the time, was teaching high school photography, darkroom photography, which I loved, at a local religious high school. And after I shot this wedding and it was on my blog, I was told that I was probably no longer allowed to teach there because I had photographed this wedding. And I needed to remove it from my blog, which I just refused to do. It was one of the first times for me that my kind of politics and photography really came together. So it really felt wonderful and kind of full circle when I got to photograph this wedding, which I believe they were the second or third couple to be married in Dayton after marriage equality passed. So as you mentioned, recently I launched a new company doing kind of more commercial and event photo and video. So I love the wedding and portrait world, but I've kind of been getting more into this, really getting to show brands through photography. Bobby is here somewhere, Briana. So I love getting to really show what brands are through imagery. This on the left here is Buzz Trivia. Some friends of ours recently launched a new bar trivia company, which is super fun. And then my friend Susie, who does calligraphy and hand lettering. So I just love getting to feel out the difference of individual businesses and styles through the imagery and what they need for their business. So I want to end on just a couple of my favorite things I've ever had the chance to photograph. As a complete political science nerd, getting to meet and photograph and have a picture with and hug President Bartlett was the most amazing thing I've ever done. Second only to when I got to photograph actual former President Bill Clinton at UD, which was just a moment where I realized I was in the school that I went to where I had been the photo editor of the newspaper, in the building where I had taught English to international students, another inside job, standing next to Al Jazeera, getting to photograph the former president, who I have a speaking action figure of. So it's just one of those moments where everything came together.
Come on, keep those hands going for all our presenters tonight. Did you guys have a good time? We had a great time. It was a lot of fun. Let's check this out. Thank you for everyone for coming and who put on the show. Thank you to everyone who